Good afternoon, Musketeers. It's November 7th, 2019. I'm Nicholas Walker.
And I'm Lucas Robbins. This is Xavier News.
From the Xavier University Television Studio, this is Xavier News. Your campus, your region, your world. This is Xavier News.
Last month was officially the hottest October on record, just beating out October 2015. According to the European Union Satellite Monitoring Service, October was for the record books, with a 1.24 degree advantage above the 1981 to 2010 average. October joined September and June 2019, which are also documented to be the hottest. Researchers of the NOAA are predicting that December to February are going to keep with the record trend as well. It's always good to have a winter coat on hand, but you may not need it as much as you think this year.
Jennifer Williams, an aide to Vice President Mike Pence, testified for several hours yesterday at the U.S. House of Representatives during the ongoing formalized impeachment process of President Donald Trump. According to the New York Times, she was called as a witness in a call between the President Trump and Ukrainian President Zelensky earlier in September, in which Trump threatened to withhold military aid to Ukraine in exchange for a foreign investigation in his political rival, former U.S. Vice President Joe Biden. In her testimony, she described the call as unusual and that it, quote, did not have any of the normal tone of a normal diplomatic call, end quote. This testimony, along with news that former National Security Advisor John Bolton refused to show up to testify, marked the end of a closed-door testimony for the impeachment. Bolton's absence from the interviews of the impeachment inquiry will not be subpoenaed, as House Democrats plan to use the absence as evidence of obstruction in the upcoming public hearings next week.
Over at Kings Island, construction crews are working on a new roller coaster for next summer. On Wednesday morning, crews lifted about 25,000 pounds. Through their efforts, the construction crews were able to complete the track on top, which is going to be the highest part of the roller coaster. The new roller coaster will be called Orion, and it already looks like it's going to be a big hit in the Cincinnati area. This ride will set the new record for the biggest roller coaster in Kings Island and will be the 7th Giga coaster in the world. So if you want to go out of your comfort zone, or you just love roller coasters, make sure to swing by with your friends when it opens.
A cheetah cub and a rescue dog over at the Cincinnati Zoo just became best buds. According to the Cincinnati Zoo, the cheetah cub, Chris, needed a companion as she was the only one of her litter to survive. Thus, the zoo recruited a local rescue pup named Remus and the Animal Rescue Fund to help bond with the young cub. The two have been nearly inseparable ever since. This is not the first time the zoo has paired dogs and cheetahs together, as this practice has been done 6 times successfully since 1981. First with a cheetah named Angel and a Great Dane called Dominic. This is all part of the Cat Ambassador program to help single cubs have a foster sibling to help them socialize and play. Despite the cheetah's solitary nature, if paired with the pup, the playfulness is nearly never-ending. All this proves that at the end of the day, dogs and cats can live together.
Have you ever wondered how you can apply to be a Manresa leader?
Carolyn Puryear has the answer for you.
As a member of CORE, we do a lot leading up to Manresa. We started back in December, late December, and so far we've been doing a lot of recruiting so that we can get enough people and the right people to be a part of OT. And then after that, we go through the interview and selection process. And then we really start planning the week and different training sessions so that everybody can be prepared for the week of Manresa. And because that's the reason that we do it. So we have to make sure that everything has been prepared well for that week.
Applications come out the second semester of the year, and they're usually due around the end of January. So this year they're due today, actually, at midnight, January 31st. And then after you submit your application, there's an interview process that you'll interview with a member of CORE or a senior who's leaving. So just those two parts are what it takes to decide whether you're in or not. So it's about a month long of the applications being open and then a week of interviews. It's an incredible opportunity to be a part of something bigger than yourself and to have the opportunity to make someone feel like they belong at Xavier and make your home someone else's home. And sometimes that means it's for a group member, like in your small group, or maybe it's someone else who's doing Manresa with you on the orientation team who just forgot what it means to belong here. You can kind of instill that in them just by being present, which I think is incredible.
I think people should apply to be part of OT because you get to be like the first site of the first years for Xavier, and you get to kind of craft their vision of how the school is and how college is going to be in the next 4 years of their life, and make it more exciting for them than they might have thought. And you get to teach them things about the school that you've learned in your time here, and I think that's really powerful to have that connection and that power with them.
When I think of Xavier, top 5, Manresa's up there. Like, I could not imagine my time here without Manresa. So I hope other people apply and value it that much too.
Looking for something to do tomorrow? At 10 a.m., Xavier will be putting up an Ohio historical marker in front of the Xavier University Armory. The ceremony includes a 15th anniversary pin ceremony done by Xavier alumni who fought in the Vietnam and Afghanistan wars. The ceremony should end around 11, so make sure to get those clocks and go check out the great event. After the ceremony, feel free to stick around and talk to the Xavier ROTC members present. The program has won the McCarthy Award 9 times and was ranked 9th in the country best ROTC program in the region. If you don't know the area well, the Armory is located just up the big steps once you hit O'Connor Sports and Fitness Center.
Next Tuesday, Xavier's Center for Diversity and Inclusion will be hosting their final Queries of the semester. Queries is a space for LGBTQ students to engage in a dialogue about issues affecting the community in a safe and open environment. The final Queries meeting will be at Gallagher Student Center at 7 p.m. on Tuesday.
All right, that's all from the news desk, people.
And I'll be right back with the Xavier Sports Report. Welcome back, Musketeers fans. It's been a minute. As you can probably know by now, I'm Lucas Robbins, and this is your weekly Xavier Sports Report. First things first, the Xavier women's soccer team had one heck of a week. Last night, they won the Big East semifinal versus Villanova 2-0 to advance to our first conference championship appearance, and early in the week, they racked up a slew of awards for my weekly Robbins Watch. Redshirt junior Carrie Lewis began the scoring effort during the semifinals with an assist from sophomore Rachel Dewey in the first half, and then a 47th minute of the match, sophomore Haley Jankovic made a heads-up play off of a deflection for the second and final goal of the match. As with the majority of the games this year, the Xavier defense was unstoppable, forcing their 11th shutout of the season out of our 20 games this season. As a result of last night's game, the women's team has won a school record 15 times this season. Now, this incredible feat marked an end of a highly accoladed week for the women's team, as they were awarded the Big East Coaching Staff of the Year award unanimously, and 5 Xavier players made the All-Big East team, including 2 first-team nominees in senior Samantha Dewey and Grace Barr. After picking up the win and the hardware, the next test will be the Big East Conference Championship versus the number 2 seed Georgetown Hoyas this Sunday at 4 p.m. Be sure to tune in on FS1 for the game and watch our Musketeers in action. And finally, the long wait is over. Regular season Xavier basketball is back. This past Monday, the men's basketball team hosted Jacksonville Dolphins for this home opener of the season, and had a 76-57 win over the visiting Dolphins. Junior center Tyreek Jones powered the way with his 12th double-double of his career and tied the scoring lead in the game with 17 points alongside junior forward Najee Marshall, whilst Jones also led the team in rebounding with 11 boards on the night. Amongst the freshman class, the most notable performance of the night was by new forward Zach Freemantle, leading the team in scoring off of the bench with 11 points amongst the reserves. As a team, the Musketeers drained 29 of their 60 shots on the night for a very efficient 48% from the floor, while also flexing their range with 4 three-pointers, half of them from sophomore guard Paul Scruggs. The win marked the 30th straight opener that the Musketeers have won, including the last 20 in the Cintas Center. The next tip-off of the season will be approximately 4 hours from now at 7 p.m. in the Cintas Center, where the Musketeers will have the Siena College Saints come marching in. If you can't make it to the game, no worries. Just be sure to tune in on the Fox Sports Network, or if you still listen to radio nowadays, at 700 AM radio. And that will do it for another episode of the Xavier Sports Report. Stay warm, Musketeers, and as always, let's go X.